From the end zone to the fan zone and all seats in between, this is your home for the local sporting update, featuring the voice of the Bradford High School Tornadoes. Welcome to On the Spot Sport News with your host, David Rodgers.
Tonight's show is brought to you by Miracle Automotive and Recovery in both Stark and McClenny. Call Kirk and Kenny Miracle at 904-368-1114. Miracle Automotives, where miracles happen every day. And by Brittany Leanne Creations, who, by the way, is helping in the construction of our new studios here in Star, Florida. This is Studio B. From photography to graphic design, let Brittany help you be as creative as you want to be. Visit Brittany Leanne Creations on Facebook for more information. Let's get the show started, as we always do, with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the week. If I may have you, ladies and gentlemen, please bow your heads. Our righteous Heavenly Father, thank you again for a wonderful and glorious day you've given us, dear Lord. Thank you for this time that we have with my family and my friends here on the Spot with the David Rodgers Show. Let us thank you again for blessing each and every one of these guys and letting them do the things they need to do with this show as we bring the information to our viewers, dear Lord, and that they take it and do with it as they see fit, dear Lord. Thank you for letting us live in the greatest country in the world today, the United States of America, dear Lord. Thank you for our armed forces as they're out there defending our rights, our liberties, and our freedoms from domestic and international terrorism and any other thing that wants to invade our beautiful country. Keep a hedge of protection over them and bring them back home safely to their families. Thank you for our first responders, anybody that works in Homeland Security and down, dear Lord. Thank you for just keeping a hedge of protection over them, keeping them safe as they do their jobs to keep us, the American public, safe, dear Lord. Thank you for our truck drivers. Thank you for our farmers and everybody that keeps America running and flowing, dear Lord. Thank you for the food that we receive each and every day, and it goes into the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Anybody with a spoken or unspoken prayer request, dear Lord, please touch each and every one of them. You know their needs, dear Lord, their wants. You know how to heal them because you are the ultimate healer. Just bless each and every one of them. Again, thank you for a wonderful day you've given us, dear Lord. Thank you for what you're going to do for us the rest of this weekend and throughout the rest of next week. We ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. And the congregation says, Amen. Amen. Let us stand for our pledge. And I'm going to ask Mr. Mitchell Gunner if he would lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into On the Spot with David Rodgers. I am your host, David Rodgers. Right along to my left, the guy that knows it all, politically, world, nationally, the governor-to-be, Mr. Man Bun himself, Governor Man Bun, Byron Bagwell.
Okay, Governor Man Bun, I might be able to accept.
All right.
Good evening, everybody.
And to my right here, local guru himself, and knows all, bees all right here in Bradford County in the region, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. Say hello, Mitchell.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Back behind us, directing the show. Give it up for our director, the Dragon Slayer, Michael Heater. Say hello, Mike.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome aboard.
All right, and to my right with the headphones and with the pretty hair, probably, God, the best-looking guy in the whole damn room, it is Super Dave Holland. Say hello, David. Oh, boy. Well, Dave's pointing at me. I ain't the best-looking guy in here, David. Forget that.
You're making me cry.
I know it. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to have you along. We got a great show for you tonight. Action-packed. Welcoming in Raymond No, Benny Jackson, and Mom, Miss Shirley Bagwell.
Well, we have somebody else on that he's not seeing, too.
Oh, my goodness, and who is that?
That's Mr. Brian Smith.
Mr. Brian Smith, welcome in, welcome in. Again, we got an action-packed show for you. We've got a special guest tonight. we'll let Mitchell Gunner tell everybody who our special guest is tonight, Mitchell.
We're going to have 4-time Pro Stock champion Erica Anders joining us tonight at 8 o'clock.
There's no way.
There is a way.
There is a way. Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you.
You're serious.
I am serious.
We're going to get to talk with Erica Anders.
You better believe it.
All right. Well, y'all better stick around because I tell you what, you don't want to miss this. And guess what? It's open pretty much. Let's call it open mic Saturday night. We got sports. We've got whatever you want to talk about. The number, Dave, is wide open. 904-458-7588. Those phone lines are wide open right now. You can call in right now. But around 8 o'clock, we've got that special guest you were talking about.
That's right.
Welcome in Ty Jordan, Lydia Morris, Vincent Tucker from Z and Tuck, Hot Topics, Melissa Manning, and Mary Salvatore. You know her?
Yeah, I know her.
Do you?
Yeah, a little bit.
She told me she didn't know you.
Probably so.
Oh,
I
I'm
wouldn't
only
claim
playing.
me either. Anyway, who
Yep.
was the lovable little fuzzball?
Who's the lovable little fuzzball? Fuzzball?
Yeah.
Where at?
You said it was open mic Saturday.
Well, I'll leave that.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll
okay.
keep that as a secret. Anyway, Michael, hey, what do we got here on the screen for us now? I'm trying to see what else we got here. So we got Shirley Bagwell again, Lydia Morris, the model, Sharon Pettiprin, Vincent Tucker for Hot Topics on Z and Tuck, and Melissa Manning. Hello, Wild Man. Yeah, hey, you got that right. Tuck, we did see Z the other night on the show. Didn't get a chance to talk to him. Dave, he did mention us on the show the other night and saying that he was on. He said he may call in tonight. May be able to get him to call in. That's for sure. We got a blank screen right now in front of us, but hey, we'll get that fixed in a minute.
We have a fan
Yeah.
that has a question for you.
Okay, well,
And
I'm going to get to it. We'll go ahead and read it.
Lydia Morris asks you, how many Red Bulls have you had tonight, David?
Well, at least
you were on a roll.
Well, at least one, and let's see, 16 ounces. Feel that. What do you think I drank?
Probably at least
12, 8?
Eight,
Okay,
12.
all right, yeah. So, yes, Lydia Morris, I'm on fire tonight. You should be on fire. We've got a great guest coming up tonight. Besides being a beautiful lady, a heck of a race car driver.
I'll tell you what, one great thing about Erica is she is so great to the fans.
Yes.
She takes up a lot of time with the young fans and stuff and introduces them into racing. You know, not only is she a champion, but I think she's a great ambassador for the sport.
Right.
So I tell you what, all of her crew have always been down-to-earth people.
Yes.
And I know she likes seeing us because we bring her donuts. Me and Zane does. We bring her donuts out.
Well, okay, here's the big question for you. Where do you get those donuts? You better say Krispy Kreme.
Oh, they're definitely from Krispy
And
Kreme.
hot?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'll wait till the sign's on and
Signs lit.
slide by there and pick them up and take them right out to the track and give them to them.
See, I
They
can't
love that.
blame her at all. The hot Krispy Kremes are great.
Oh, my goodness,
yeah.
brother. Judith Young Sally is on. Say hello to Judith.
How you doing, Judith? Hey, Mopar, no car.
No, I disagree with that. I like Mopar, though, but, man, I'm a big Ford guy, man. I like Mustangs. Don't you, Byron?
I have to root for the Camaros as
Yes.
well because that's what
Yep.
Erica drives. She drives
Yep,
the Camaro.
that's right.
And she's sponsored by Milling Performance.
Oh,
So-
boy. You better read that next one.
Oh, Lord.
Sharon Pettiprin, the model.
David is wound up like $2 clock tonight.
Like a $2 clock tonight. Good grief.
Hey, guess
Yes,
what?
I am wound up. I'm ready. Mopar, no car, Judith
Hey,
says.
I tell you what, guess what else we're going to have?
What
we're
are we
going to
gonna
have? Josh Hart used to drive alcohol.
No way.
Dragster. He's now moving to the nitro categories. He's
Yep.
going to be a top fuel pilot.
Yep.
And so we're going to have him on Tuesday night.
What?
And we may be having another guest come
No
on
way,
the
Byron.
27th. And I'm trying to make contact with Justin Ashley.
What?
And we may have him on the 27th.
Where are we getting all these guests from? Mr. Mitchell Gunner, man. He's like Cupid with his arrow, drawing back his bow.
He's so good at what he does, he's got all these contacts because they watch him closely. They're just waiting for him to make the move.
Vincent Tucker said, did y'all hear about one of the United Flight 328 engines exploding after takeoff from Denver International, I think, and raining plane parts in a neighborhood in Broomfield, Colorado? We did.
That is correct.
That is correct, yes.
And they actually landed safely.
Yes, the plane landed safely.
Yeah, so thank goodness on that. Judith says, David, you lost me on the Mustang thing. Come on, Judith. But she says, I'll take an XR7, though. So, okay, we lost on the okay.
I'll just take.
Is that a double negative?
I'll just take I just take a Ford GT.
Hey, is that a double negative?
I'm not talking about the Mustang. I will take the Ford GT over anything that's pretty much.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just saw the picture.
$100,000 price.
just saw the pictures on that. Raymond No said, amazing story. Tammy Testone is on. Guys, ready? One,
I'm ready.
2, 3. Hello, LV. All right. Denny Ray Randolph is on. You know who that is? That is Rodgers' sister.
Oh, okay.
So say hello to Denny.
Hey, Denny.
Hey, Denny.
And one of my favorite guys, and just talking about him today because I was going to ask him is Coach Brian Tomlinson, head coach of those Bradford Tornadoes. Brand. The brand is what we call it. That's right. That's what it is now. It's the brand. Yep, you got that right. Well, if he has them lined up, maybe he should be taking Myers into and not canceling. We are working on Urban Meyer. Does he say Myers or Meyer?
Myers.
Lydia. Myers.
She's talking about canceling the contract. You got with the,
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
We can take bets on that. 5 games is mine.
Yours is 5. All right, Mitchell?
4 games.
Yeah.
You're going to give him 4. All right. I'm going to take the over. I'm going to give him 7.
So we're saying
Before half the season.
Heart palpitations and gone.
Yeah, and
Okay.
gone. Yeah. Something's going to go down, and he's gone. And no poor old Trevor Lawrence is going to be there going, let me pick my ass up.
Man, I'm telling you, I would not do that. There are some great free agent quarterbacks out there, and those picks can be traded down, and you can get a whole lot of value out of this draft.
I'll tell you, else. I hope Urban Meyer comes in and he stays and he actually builds the team up instead of exiting out.
Me too. I hope he does too.
Definitely exiting out after the first season there. You know, you got to build up the team and you got to build your offensive line around your quarterback and so on.
Yeah. So, hey, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere because the Saturday night Quick and Dirty starts right now.
Here is your quick and dirty news update, sponsored by Harry Business Hairstyling, home of the $10 haircut, Deerfoot Village in Stark.
Here is the quick and dirty for this Saturday night. The City of Bunnell Police Department in Flagler County continued their investigation into a gunfight that resulted in one person shot last week. We begin with breaking news out of Melrose after a bicyclist was struck by a car near the old Lazaro's trailer park on State Road 21 earlier today. The male in his 40s was taken to a hospital with serious injuries, and the Florida Highway Patrol is investigating. The City of Bunnell Department in Flagler County continued their investigation to a gunfight that resulted in one person shot last week. 19 shell casings, guys, were recovered by detectives following a gun battle between 2 black males. Anyone with information regarding this incident is asked to contact Detective Kyle Totten with Bunnell PD at 386-437-7508. And, as always, you can remain anonymous. Lake City Police arrested Robert Clay Rosenthal on Thursday after he broke into a home and refused to leave. Units were dispatched to Southwest Leslie Glen to a burglary in progress. Upon arrival, officers were advised by the victims that upon their return home, they discovered the front door to their home slap kicked in. Upon making entry, police began Rosenthal loud verbal orders to show his hands and get on his knees. Well, of course, Rosenthal refused and had to be forcibly taken into custody. Rosenthal was released from jail within the previous 24 hours after having been arrested for domestic battery on one of the residents of the home. Putnam County detectives are continuing their investigation involving Naisha Nelson, 20, who went missing over a week ago from the Crescent City area. An intensified search turned up human remains today in a rural area of Crescent City, according to investigators. Investigators have not yet been able to determine the sex of the remains discovered around 8 o'clock this morning, or if they even belong to an adult. Nor can they say yet how long the remains, Byron and Mitchell, have been in the woods. The investigation is still ongoing. Alachua County deputies say Matthew Leprinsky, 21, of Ocala, was arrested on last week on 700. Listen, I didn't stutter. 700, David, and 10 charges of grand theft of controlled substance at the Walgreens located at 7520 West Newberry Road in Gainesville. Ladies and gentlemen, I did not stutter. 700. Each charge corresponds to a single pill stolen from the pharmacy within the past year. Leprinsky completed a voluntary statement for Walgreens admitting to the theft and an approximate count of substances stolen over the past year, the report states. He was released from the Alachua County Jail on his own recognizance and, in spite of the admission of the theft, entered a not guilty plea to the charges. Okay. Oh, go back to that, Michael. Okay, listen up, ladies and gentlemen. He was released from the Alachua County Jail on his own recognizance, and in spite of the admission of the theft, entered a not guilty plea to the charges. Wow, are you absolutely kidding me?
Sounds like a smart fella.
Sounds like it. Either that or doesn't have a good attorney. 2 Dunellen residents are in the Marion County Jail being held for the federal government. They are 2 of 6 people newly indicted by a grand jury for their role in the riot at the U.S. Capitol building on January the 6th. Kelly and Connie Meggs were arrested Wednesday in Ocala, Florida, according to the U.S. Justice Department. Both are members of the Oath Keepers, which has been identified as a radical right-wing organization. What do you say, Byron?
You know what the Oath Keepers are.
Oh, absolutely.
Most of them are retired military members that continue to keep their oath to the government of the United States.
One of the guys that is watching tonight is a member of the Oath Keepers, and we've been talking about this, and I know that's exactly what y'all talked about.
It eats people up that are members of this to
yes,
hear
it
this
does.
because they're not a right.
They are not
organization at all. They're like I said, most of them are retired military members.
Right. A man from Ohio is facing 55 charges for fraud. 50. Where are we getting these double-digit numbers? 55 charges for fraud after officers found 43 credit cards, 4 driver's licenses, and 2 Social Security cards in his possession. Joshua Emmel, 23, is charged with 43 counts, another double-digit, of counterfeiting credit cards, 6 counts of fraudulent impersonation, 2 counts of fraud under $20,000, 2 counts of using a counterfeit credit card, and 2 counts of possession of tools to make counterfeit credit cards. His bond is set at, listen to this, $365,000. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to donate to this guy's bond, just go ahead and send in the checks straight to him, and I'm sure he'll make his way out. He'll probably
beginning to sound like Kamala Harris. I'm sorry.
What? Oh my goodness! Ocala police officer Jordan Pagano was honored with the Florida Police Chiefs Association Life Saving Award last Tuesday. The award was presented by the FPCA and Region 17 Assistant Director, High Springs Police Chief Antoine Shepard. Pagano, a rookie officer, pulled an injured man from a burning home in the 900 block of Northwest 9th Street back in January. Florida Power and Light reports that scammers are aggressively targeting utility company customers across Florida using sophisticated tactics to pocket quick cash. We've all heard of this. The caller pretends to be a Florida Power and Light Company employee and insists your account is delinquent and demands an instant payment. FPL does not demand immediate payment with a prepaid card, ladies and gentlemen, or wire transfer to avoid service disconnection. Clay Electric is reporting a similar situation and suggests you hang up on suspicious callers demanding payments and call your utility company to confirm your account status. Boosie's, a Texas-based Disney World of gas stations, will open its St. Augustine location on Monday at 6 a.m. Until the Daytona Beach Buc-ee's opens, the St. Augustine location will be the largest in the state of Florida. How big is it? How big is it, Byron? How big is it, guys?
It's real big?
It's real big.
Oh, okay.
The convenience store is located at 200 World Commerce Parkway at the southwest side of the Interstate 95 and International Golf Parkway. The store building, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this, is about 55,000 square feet. Again, ladies and gentlemen, 55,000 square feet. Slightly smaller than a football field and includes 104 fueling pumps and stations.
I wonder if they're going to sell 104 octane.
Hey, well, we'll see. But right now, we'll find that out. That's your quick and dirty. Now, here's your weather forecast.
This weather report brought to you by Austin's Weather Service out of Keystone Heights. Find Austin's Weather Service on Facebook and have a detailed local forecast sent right to you.
And good evening, everybody. A quick check of the forecast as we take a look at the national map. The weather story this weekend is the gradual thaw and moderating temperatures for the central third of the U.S. from the upper Midwest to Texas. And good Lord, you know they need it out there, stretching over to the lower Mississippi Valley. By late tomorrow night into Monday and Tuesday, temperatures will almost be near normal. In fact, even above average after the recent Arctic blast. A system will also start to develop Monday into Tuesday with some rain and snow moving back into the Mississippi Valley. Now, locally for us, hey, we're going to stay clear overnight tonight with lows in the 30s to around 40 degrees, stretching into Sunday morning. Mostly sunny skies, some clouds as we move through the day. Afternoon highs will climb into the mid-60s. As we progress a little bit further on, our next cold front, of course, will sweep through Monday night, increasing our chances of rain in the evening. Tuesday, we'll see comfortable temperatures, sunny skies, and some nice winds. And that is your weather forecast, Dave. Back to you.
Well, thank you, Michael, for that weather forecast and that weather update. Of course, that weather update is brought to you by Austin's Weather Service. Our director, Michael Heater, filling in on that. And we'll recap that weather toward the end of the show. Now, here's your favorite segment that brings back a little history, brought to you by our great media partners. WEAG, Eagle Country 106.3 FM, Chuck and Mary Kramer and Lynn Bellis, and the Bradford County Telegraph, John Miller, John Ryan, Elizabeth Tillman, Mark Crawford, and of course, Sports Director Cliff Smiley. Here's What's the Date? These are the sport headlines from the Bradford Telegraph in the third week of February. In what year? BHS Mosley Vaughn to play at Trinity International. Tornadoes rally to win fourth straight district championship. Keystone Heights guide to run cross-country track at Florida Southern. And 6, from BHS, Union County High School earned all-state football honors. Was that February of 2017? February of 2018, or February of 2019. BHS Mosley Vaughn to play at Trinity International. That's Jacquez Mosley and, of course, Bug Vaughn. Tornadoes rally to win fourth straight district championship. Keystone Heights got to run cross-country at Florida Southern. And 6, from Bradford High School and Union County High School earned all-state football honors. Was that February of 2017, February of 2018, or February of 2019? All right, Byron, read the first one.
Yeah, Bradford High School senior Jacquez Mosley, the a 6-foot-tall, 285-pound defensive lineman, and Jeremiah Vaughn, the 5'6", 147-pound running back, wide receiver, return specialist, signed letters of intent to play football at Chicago Trinity International University.
Right. Torrey Bowie and Taz Curry scored in the final 20 seconds, part of an 11-2 run to close the game and give the Bradford High School boys basketball team a 73-70 victory over top seed Fort White in the February 15th District 4 5A championship game in Newberry. Mitchell, how about it?
How about Keystone Heights High School senior Alex Guy signs a letter of intent to run cross country and track at Florida Southern College. He was the first ever Keystone High School runner to win a district championship.
Byron, how about the last?
6 Bradford and Union County High School football players receive all-state honors, including Bradford Jr. Nathaniel Nadro Davis, who was a first-team defensive selection in Class 4A.
And we remember that name, Nadro Davis, huh?
Special highlights from a special player.
BHS Mosley Vaughn to play at Trinity International. Tornadoes rally to win 4th straight district championship. Keystone Heights got to run cross-country track at Florida Southern. And 6 from Bradford High School and Union County High School earned all-state football honors. Was that February of 2017, February of 2018, or February of 2019? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to look at some comments here. This is your chance to play. If you get this right, you will get put into a pool that we will have here in a couple of weeks, and somebody is going to win what, Byron?
$20 gift certificate.
25.
Oh, 25.
Yeah.
$25 gift certificate to the Downtown Grill.
You can buy some wings.
A bunch of them for that game.
Chicken tenders, all sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the place has got a lot of good, really good food.
And adult beverages.
Do you know who some of our previous winners are? Can you name one?
How about Shirley Backwell?
There you go. Can you name
Raymond
one?
No.
All right. Dave, can you name the other one? You want me to help you?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'll let Mike help you.
Let's see. I'm thinking it's Lydia Morris.
Lydia Morris would be the correct answer. So we've got 3 winners with this thing. So, again, you could win a $25 gift certificate to the Downtown Grill. We'll go over some of these here in just a minute. Very special guest tonight coming up here in just about, let's call it 28, 29 minutes. Yep. That's going to be Erica Enders. Right. Hey, top fuel or no?
No.
Pro Stock?
Pro Stock.
Pro Stock.
I want her to be top fuel.
Now, I'll tell you what.
She can?
Pro Stock is one of the hardest cars to drive, and she'll explain that to us tonight.
All right. Lydia Morris laughed at you a while ago, Byron. I'm not sure what that was.
She was laughing at me probably about the comment about Urban Meyer.
Or the man bun.
Well, yeah.
I personally think Jags are going to be good. It's going to be a good year. Just watch. And most of all, Jacksonville needs it big time. I agree. Melissa, great job there. Video of the fiery engine flight in a very, very, very scary. Yes, it was. And we'll have some of those maybe on Tuesday's show after everything is done there. Wow, 19. That's insane. Vincent Tucker again. David Rodgers from Pascagoula, Mississippi, lives in Van Cleve now. Welcome in, sir. Lydia Morris, can you say the system is screwed up? Well, of course we can. Those chuckleheads never experienced a good old-fashioned ass whooping by their parents. I love that, Raymond. No, you're exactly right.
That's
they
right.
Sure didn't, because if they did, they wouldn't be pulling no stupid crap like that. No, this is a sports night, but would like to ask one question. Talk about the price of gas going up. Apparently, news is saying crude oil went up last October, which is the cause, and it is related to the pipeline. Or is it related to the pipeline or not? Byron? Real quick.
Yes.
Okay,
It is
I agree.
related to the pipeline.
I agree.
When things like that happen, the gas and oil speculators start manipulating the prices of gas and crude oil, and it causes them to go up most of the time when the supply is lessened like that.
Yeah.
So
This is a supply and demand thing here.
Well, you listen to anything from the mainstream media about what goes on with this, and you're going to get a skewed vantage point.
Right.
It doesn't matter which one it is. It all boils down to speculators and what actually happens with the oil and the gas companies. And when they don't have the capability to get the oil and the gas where they need to get it, the prices are going to go up.
Yeah, OPEC raising prices for supply worldwide. It's up $6 a barrel just this week, Byron.
Sure.
So,
of course, they're trying to make their money back from the debacle that they had with Donald Trump when he bought up basically all of their supply for nothing.
And you got to think the way they play the oil industry is just the way they play the stock market, no matter what they are invested in.
You're right.
I mean, they listen for clues, and that's how they.
And again, Miss Shirley's right. This is a sports show, but you can ask anything that you want. We'll answer it tonight. If we can't answer it tonight, we'll table it till Tuesday, and we'll answer it Tuesday for you.
You're going to get people saying that that's not the truth. It's because the gas and the oil prices went up. You're always going to have people that say that.
Right.
But if you look at the entire thing that they do when gas and oil prices go up, it's directly related to things like what are wonderful.
All right, Lydia Morris says, tell him to put some Gorilla Glue in this hair and set up a GoFundMe. I am not donating jack.
He's talking about to the credit card guy.
Yeah, to the credit card guy. I ain't donating jack. Vincent Tucker, judge told him his bond, and he said, just put it on my credit card. Oh, that is awesome.
And that is the quote of the night.
Yes, it is.
Put it on my credit
Vincent
card.
Tucker, if y'all don't know, ladies and gentlemen, let me give it a plug. Hey, they've got a great show out in Phoenix, Arizona on Thursday nights. The problem is it's 9:30 our time, 7 o'clock local. Z and Tuck, they have a show called Hot Topics. Z and Vincent Tucker got a great show going on out there. Their graphics are great. They're set up pretty much like we are. We rob ideas from each other. I don't want to use the word rob. Borrow ideas from each other and to try to make both of our shows a lot better. So, Vincent, if you want to plug your show, hey, do so. Give us a little quick type in there. But catch that show, Z and Tuck, the Hot Topics, on Thursday nights at 9:30 local.
Hey, and David, if they can't watch it live, they can always go back and watch it later.
Just like they can our
like
show.
us.
We're on Facebook and YouTube now.
That's right.
So, Elizabeth, John, and Ryan Tillman's on. Hello. Lydia, $265, $265, and it will keep going up. Has fired so many workers and closed down oil rigs out in the Gulf. Yes, it has. Randy Brooks is on. Thank you, Austin, for the weather service. Vincent Tucker says in Phoenix, Arizona. Did you see that, Michael?
Yes, sir.
$2.79 a gallon in Phoenix.
Yeah, and it actually went up 6 cents a gallon here in Stark in the last 24
hours. Yeah. Hey, Roy Jackson, Michael said 2018.
Okay.
Vincent Tucker said 2018. Okay. Judith said 2017. Randy Brooks said 2017. Mm-hmm. Chuck Smith, hello. Mark Udi, hello. Michael. Benny Jackson said 2018.
Got it.
Raymond No said 18. Gibson said 18. The model, Sharon Petterpin, said 18. Noah Gibson, Tammy Testone says 2017. Cool. Noah said a drag racer? Absolutely a drag racer. Lydia Morris, 2018. Shirley says, thanks for answering that. That is exactly what she thought.
Yeah. Yeah, Mom.
We have so many reserves of oil right now, it's not even funny. You're exactly right, Lydia, because you know why? President Trump, when he had that chance, just real quick, bought up all that oil. Hey, the Saudis and the Middle East, we're going to screw over the United States. Not so fast, my friend. Who did I take that from? Lee Corso. Not so fast, my friend. Brilliant move by President Trump. What does he do? I'm going to take some money from here, shift it over here, and buy up all that oil.
And that's exactly what he did.
Yep.
And guess what? Lydia's right. But just like anything else, well, let's get into that Tuesday. I don't want to get into it right now. OPEC is going to ruin American crude oil. Paid $15 a barrel. There you go. That's exactly right. Let's see. Mark Udi has 2017. Did we get Miss Bagwell?
We did.
2018. Yep. That's Hot Topics with Z and Tuck. www.facebook.com /Hot Topics Z Tuck. So there you go. All right. Well, here we go. We got to move on. BHS Mosley Vaughn to play at Trent International. Tornadoes rally to win 4th straight district championship. Keystone Heights guy to run cross country track at Florida Southern. And 6, from Bradford High School, Union County earned all-state football honors. Was that February 2017, February 2018, February of 2019? The esteemed panel, real quick. What do you say, Byron? 17, 18, or 19?
18.
18. Michael, what do you say?
I'm going to let this one go because
Okay. Did you actually appear at my answer?
I actually took a peek at the answer.
Okay. David?
I'm going to say 18.
Okay. Mitchell?
I'm going to say 18.
You're going to say 18. Well, I know the answer, so I can't say it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're in. Here we go. Drum roll, please. And the answer is nothing. We have nothing. Actually, it's February of 2019.
Nobody got it.
Oh, nobody got it. My goodness, we have nobody going into the pool tonight. Not even our esteemed colleagues.
We can always try again, too.
Let me tell you what, Michael, correct me if I'm right. Does a lot of these questions sometimes, because of when it happens and when it's, you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It carries over into the following year. You see how early this was.
Exactly. And
Because Vaughn played in 2018.
that is correct.
And so did Mosley.
That is correct.
So,
The kicker here, though, is that, again, it is the fact that we moved into February.
Yes.
And we literally take this right from the paper, right from the Telegraph. So
yep.
the best part about this is that you can go back and research it and everything like that one. And to be honest, if you have a particular topic or area that you'd like to know more about, whether it's historical aspects of Bradford County or anything dealing with sports like
Sure.
that, man, feel free to hit us up. We actually have our email address. You can actually see it on the screen right now. It's on the spot, 32091@gmail.com. I'm sorry, what did you say?
Say it again.
On the spot, 32091@gmail.com.
Well, there you go. Hey, did Mark Udi chime in and answer Mike?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He said 17.
He did. Well, he tried to change it to 19. Good job, Mark. Wrong. Hey, not tonight. Hey, but we'll get you on Tuesday night. So, again, hey, welcome to a sports show this Saturday night. To my left, Mr. Byron Bagwell. To my right, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. Over here to my other right is Mr. Dave Holland, the pretty guy on the show. And then we've got the second prettiest guy, our director, Michael Heater, in the back. You just heard him give the weather. Mark Udi, kidding. Yeah, I see what you try to do there. Michael Heater was all over it, though. Mark, you try to pull one on us. Hey, we've had it once or twice, maybe. Not very many. All right, ladies and gentlemen, want to go over some things real quick before we get the lovely Miss Erica Enders on tonight here. Going to be calling in. Hey, phone lines are wide open right now. 904-458-7588. Want to hit some local stuff really quick happening within the school. Fellowship of Christian Athletes meets on Tuesday in the Media Center at 8 a.m. Everyone is welcome and encouraged to attend. Read that one there, Byron.
The next SWAT meeting will be Monday, February the 22nd at 8 a.m. in the Media Center. All members should attend, and for anyone interested, the door is open for you to join.
Why don't you read about the prom tickets?
Sure. From the tickets, prom tickets, not from tickets. Prom tickets are on sale in the front office. Remember, if you have plan on bringing a guest that does not attend BHS, you must get a guest request form filled out prior to purchase of tickets.
All right. We'll let Mitchell hit the other two. Mitchell, how about that?
Oh, order your 2021 yearbook now. The price is $70.
Yep.
No student. I didn't bring my glasses.
People that need glasses to
Have
read,
zero
stuff to read without glasses.
Absences during the month of February will get to go into the movies during the school in March, or notes. You're trying to give me your glasses, Dave?
Yeah.
Producer's trying to get his glasses.
And parent notes turn in within 48 hours will not count against you. All students who qualify will get a free popcorn and drink.
What?
Make sure to be at school each day of the month.
You know what they offered us? A sandwich.
Oh, I figured. Yeah,
and that's it. Sandwich.
Between two pieces
Yeah,
of bread.
you got that right.
Sandwich?
Yes, sandwich. Students should be,
Leftwich?
yes, sort
Okay.
of. Students should be checking and reading their school emails on a daily basis for important information that is sent out. Make sure Chris Coffey sends this letter out every Sunday for everybody that lives in Bradford County. Please make sure you read this because, hey, sometimes students forget, sometimes students don't say, and they don't tell you everything, and then here comes a parent. Ring, ring, ringing. Hello, hello. Yes, I'd like to purchase a yearbook. Is it too late? Well, yes, ma'am, it's too late now. Why is that? Because you're a student or you didn't get this email here that was sent out by Chris Coffey to everybody stating that. So
And
make
that
sure you
email-
read that.
And that email comes out every Sunday, and also is followed with a phone call.
Yeah. Devin Wheeler says, you guys rock.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. We appreciate it, Devin. Tammy Testone. Good night, Alvy.
Good night, Allie.
Good night, Alvy. We love you. All right. Getting real quick. Takira Backen, Brianna Jordan, Michaela Cooper, Gabby Oliver, Jessica Traylor, and Liberty Arahaus went to the state championships over in Live Oak at Swanee High School to compete in the Class 1A state championship girls weightlifting. Congratulations. The girl pulled a fourth place team victory out of there. Union County girls pulled a third place victory out of there. And Tiara Bakken and Brianna Jordan are the state runner-ups in their weight class. Congratulations, ladies. Hey, those ladies will be coming back. They're only sophomores.
That's right.
Be coming back. The two girls that were in their weight class are moving on. So these girls have a chance to be state champions next year. Gabby Oliver, we had a 4th, 5th, and a 6th place finish. Congratulations, Coach Adrian Mosley, Coach Autumn Rogers, and Team Bob and Team Administrator Miss Shelley Rogers. Boys and girls basketball, gentlemen, I hate to tell you, is no more. The girls got beat out in the regional play first game. They got beat out. So they're done. They were a young team. They'll have those girls coming back. Hey, we're looking forward to next year. And the boys lost in the final game of the district championship. They got beat by Santa Fe by 2 points. So that will end their seasons, but great seasons for both of them. Looking for bigger and better things next year. Bradford High School flag football, first game, March 2nd at Middleburg at 6 p.m. So go out and support the girls' flag football team. And if you notice, guys, all those games are away. We don't play a one here. So everything is away on that, but we'll keep on it on that. BHS Baseball opened up Monday, February 8th and February 9th on the preseason classic. They played West Nassau and Columbia. Season opener Tuesday was February 16th and February 18th. I'm not sure how the rain affected the delays here. I'll find that out for you. But their next scheduled game, guys, we got 3 games this week. February 22nd, Swanee will be coming to town. That game will be at 7 o'clock. Tuesday, right after that, Palatka comes visiting. The JV will play that day. 4 o'clock for the JV, 7 for the varsity. And who do we got there on Friday, February 26th there, Mitchell?
Oh, we got Keystone right down the road, rivals.
Very good baseball team, by
Yes,
the
they
way.
are.
And Byron can tell you, they got a great baseball team. So go out and support your BHS baseball team at the new field. Byron, what do we have right here? So, look, the 16th, they play Gainesville High. I think some of these games were canceled.
Softball, right?
Girls softball.
yeah.
Man, love girls softball.
2019. 219.
Today,
they play Williston.
yeah. I don't know what
Yeah.
the final score was, but yeah.
And then on the 23rd, they play Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
And on the 25th, they play Williston.
That's right.
Then on the 26th, they play Santa Fe.
Hey, go out, 2 home games and an away game and a couple of away games, but go out and support your Bradford girls tornado softball team. They're going to be pretty good this year. Do you know who the coach is for the Bradford softball team is? We see him every once in a while out in town when we go to Beef O'Brady sometimes. That'll be Mr. Kevin Blankenship.
Oh, okay.
Kevin Blankenship. There you go.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So, boys weightlifting, Bradford High School boys weightlifting. We've got a cancellation that happened on the 3rd. That Ridgeview High didn't happen, COVID situation. But the 8th, they went to Union County, and I believe they did really well there. And on the 24th, that's this week, Fleming Island will be over there hosting the Tornado boys weightlifting team. Good luck there. How about you, Byron? I'm going to let you read this because you like tennis.
Look at this.
So I know that they're 2-1 so far, but give me those right there.
Boys only tennis match. Bradford versus Clay at home. Start time is 3:15. On the 23rd, boys and girls match. Bradford versus Pedro Menendez away at 3:30 p.m.
Hey,
Worth going to watch. These kids are talented, and it's a fun game to watch.
this guy played.
It's a fun game to play, too.
Went to districts, too, by the way. Did you go to regionals?
Went to state.
Went to state?
Won districts and went to state.
Holy mess, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
My senior year in high school, yeah.
Oh, man.
And
That's
then we ended up playing the school that was
just
associated with the Bollettieri Academy down in South Florida and got beat.
all right. And then track and field.
Oh, yeah.
We've got February 23rd, Mitchell. We got a home meet Tuesday, Bradford High School right here. Starts at 4:30.
And I'll be there.
And you'll be there for that.
I'll help officiate that track meet.
Absolutely nice. So that's what's going on with our local sports. The phone line is now open, 904-458-7588. If the line is busy, you can leave a message or send us a text, and we'll read your message on the air. You can also try to call back if you wish. Great time to get in right now. I know some people want to talk to Erica Enders as soon as we get her on the line. But here's your chance to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. Lines are open, 904-458-7588. All right, Michael, want to talk a little bit of some things that are going on. Of course, we got college basketball going on right now.
Oh, yeah.
College baseball going on right now. College softball going on right now. We've got pro basketball, the NBA, the NHL. We've got a big fight tonight. We'll give you a tail of the tape here in just a second between two lightweights here. And this ought to be a great, great fight. Two Mexican fighters. This is the highest stakes that it's been for a while, since probably a Duran or a Chavez fight. These two guys right here, Miguel Burcho versus Oscar Valdez. That's tonight on ESPN at 10 o'clock. Record, Burchell is 38-1. Valdez is 28-0. Only one fight lost between these two fighters. Miguel has 34 knockouts. Oscar Valdez has 22. Height, 5'7" for Miguel. Valdez is 5'5". Reach, here's the difference, guys. Miguel Burchell, 71.5 inches. Valdez, 66 inches. Both are orthodox fighters. Valdez, guys, not the strong puncher. He's going to jab you. You know what I mean? Take pops at you. Not a powerful knockout guy, but he can knock you. He can catch you.
He can catch you.
Miguel, on the other hand, is going to have a 5.5 inch reach differential, and he's going to be looking for that straight right or that straight left or that uppercut that's going to try to land on Valdez's chin.
Sure.
I tell you what, guys, I think right now that Miguel is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. I'm going with Miguel Burchell in a 6-round TKO.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Would you explain to the fans what an orthodox stance is, in case some people don't know this?
Yeah.
Follow boxing.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. So, you got your southpaw boxer. You got your, where he stands back and always tries to lead with his left. Then you got your what we call a orthodox boxer, which is more of a straight up type. You know what I mean? Comes at you. An unorthodox boxer would be more of your left-handed guy. Sits back, you know what I mean? Tries to relieve with the left, then comes around with the right. But your orthodox boxer is more of your straight-up, stand-up guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? That just throws a lot of straight punches. So, which surprised me about these Mexican fighters, because I thought they would be more unorthodox. But hey, it depends who their trainer is.
Well, also it depends on if they're right or left-handed too.
True, that's exactly
if they're both right-handed and they've always boxed that way.
Right,
they're going to get that orthodox stance.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. So a big fight tonight. So that's at 10 o'clock on ESPN. That'll probably be, of course,
I got Valdez.
You got Valdez.
Yes.
I'm going to take Valdez.
You're going to take Valdez. Mike?
Oh, absolutely. Valdez is going to take him out.
Valdez, okay. David? You like Valdez too?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take Miguel. All right, just to see.
I just
Like that reach. All right.
Reach is great, but man.
All right.
Good
hey,
boxers.
We've got college basketball, of course, right now. So a lot of games going on. As you can see, Byron, right here, there's some scores scrolling across there. Looks like Oklahoma's taking care of Iowa State right there. They're the number 9 team in the country. And I tell you what, here we go. Gonzaga, you like that?
Always a great team.
Yeah, always a great team. Remember, they were Cinderellas at one time.
Oh, yes.
Now they're the number 1 team in the country. Yeah, sometimes Byron don't want to scroll. She just stays there. But anyway, he's got it right here. There we go. Just a couple of scores right here. North Carolina back on the winning track. You know, they're on the bubble to make the NCAA playoffs. Great win over Louisville. Beat them by 39 points, Byron. They needed that.
They're still the second.
So, okay, well, that's going to be a tail whipping either way, right?
Yeah.
39 points, but it's still going. He's right. Kansas takes care of Texas Tech. Both of them teams ranked 67-61. I watched a little bit of that ball game. They needed that. Arizona in the second quarter right now, beating a hot USC team by 8 points. Looks like Washington State is beat Stanford in 3 overtimes. 85-76.
That was a good game.
And let me tell you something right now. Talking about a blue blood, Byron. Duke, they need a win bad. They need to beat Virginia. Florida State's already taken care of them this week. Duke needs to go in and get that win. And you know they're going to be without Johnson, right? Jalen Johnson, he opted out.
Right.
Y'all seen that, right? He opted out the rest of the season, so they're going to be without their high-scoring freshman guard. So a lot of basketball. But, hey, do yourself a favor. 8 p.m. on ESPN2. And I know that's in the middle of our show, but keep our show on and watch that. So, Gonzaga. Man, let me tell you, Mark Few's team, Gonzaga, whoo, they are awesome.
But here's the thing I want to know. Mm-hmm. And it's always the most important thing because we live in the state of Florida.
Right.
How is Florida State, and the unmentionable team doing?
All right, so as you look at our men's top 25 right here, as you can see, Gonzaga 1, Baylor 2, Michigan 3, Ohio State 4. All them teams playing great basketball. Look at there, Byron, 3, 4, and 5 in Mitchell, all Big Ten teams. Great. Top to bottom league right there. Once you look at the number 16 team in the country, that's Florida State Seminoles. Hey, they won again today. They've only lost 3 games. You know, when they come out with their top 16, Florida State wasn't even in, and they were on a roll. I think that changes. A lot of people like Florida State. Long, lengthy, can play, suffocates on defense. Also like the number 8 team in the country. Who is that, Mitchell?
Alabama.
I like them too, even though they've lost a couple of ball games. They remind me of Florida State right there. And so looking at some good basketball, I know that Florida's not in that top 25, but Florida's been playing good. They actually won today. They beat Georgia. They beat Georgia by 10 or 12 points today. Looking like Florida's going to get in. As you can see, the rest of the top 25 there, Oklahoma, like I said, is in play right now. Villanova, Iowa. Yep. There's a lot of great basketball teams there. How about the women? I
don't see a U in there either.
No, sir. We play them Tuesday, by the way.
Oh, good. We get to watch it.
That'll be another 20-point whipping.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think about the women's basketball there? UConn, man. They're always tough, man. Gene Ariamo's got a great team up there, don't he?
Every year.
Every year, man. He's got them guys playing. Looks like South Carolina's the number 2 team in the country. ACC's got 3 and 4 right there with Louisville and North Carolina State. And Florida State actually won today. I don't know what's wrong with the ladies. I think the COVID thing has hit them a little bit. But I want you to look at the loss column in the women's to the men's. Look at the top 25. There's only one team with 7 losses, and that's Arkansas, and that's probably because of the schedule they played. Anything after that, there's not a team with more than 5 losses on there.
Well, look at South Florida, number 12.
Yeah, I like South Florida. The Bulls, the Lady Bulls are doing the thing. So another team that's scary there, I watched them play, was Oregon. And I also like Tennessee, too. Tennessee played a great game the other night as well. So that's your men and women's top 25. We'll break that down here a little bit later on as we move on. Again, don't go anywhere, guys, because we've got Miss Race Car Driver herself. Who we got, Mitch?
We got Erica Anders, 4-time Pro Stock champion. Mm-hmm. And this past year, she is back-to-back She has won those back-to-back, so
Wow.
2019 and 2020 championships, and probably getting ready to win her 5th.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Say good night to Albie, guys.
Good night, Albie.
Well, Albie there. Let's see. Vincent Tucker said, and also another noteworthy news, absolutely. Mars rover Perseverance landed safely on Mars after a 7-month journey, and we have already gotten back some nice high-definition photos.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cool thing.
I did notice one of the first photos that came back was the sign exit to the Dollar General.
Yes.
Really?
Oh yeah.
All right, exit to the
Was
Dollar
that-
General.
Was that taken from the drone that they actually have on there, or was
Probably
it taken?
so.
Okay.
Probably so.
And he's laughing about that, but there actually is a
There
drone
is.
on it.
There is. Glenn Reeder is watching. Mac Johns. Rogers Zone. Jeff Goins and Linda Davis, welcome to the show. Y'all are fixing to get the honor and the pleasure of talking to the lovely Miss Erica Enders here in just a couple of minutes. Want to welcome you into the show. If you missed some of the show, we always open up with the prayer, the pledge. We didn't even actually get a quote. I was just so excited. We just passed the quote, but we'll have one on Tuesday.
I will have one.
Oh, you will have one Tuesday. So again, Byron Bagwell to my left, Mr. Mitchell Gunner to my right. Back in the back, just gave you weather. Mr. Michael Heaters, hello, Mike.
Hello, Mike.
Hello. Oh, okay. And how about over here to the right, the lovely and the talented Mr. Dave Holland. Say hello, Dave.
Thank you very much.
How about that? He's going
Elvis
to
is
pull a
in the
little.
building.
Elvis is in the building. Good grief. Elvis may want to leave.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Phone lines open 904-458-7588 for just a couple of more minutes. Anybody want to chime in on anything? If you're having a problem, if you're having an issue, if you want to talk, ask me a question, ask Byron a question, ask Mitchell a question. It may be a weather-related question. Well, ask Michael. It may be a producing question for Dave. Hey, we're wide open right here. That number is 904-458-7588. Give our email address.
And that would be on the spot, 32091@gmail.com.
All right. Hey, Michael Heater said he's going to give you a raise for remembering that.
Speaking of that, I've got to go take an email. I'll be
All
back in
right.
just a second.
You got to, what? He's got to take an email. Okay. All right, here we go. Maybe for Mitchell. Heading north on 301 past McDonald's and the railroad tracks, veering to the right at the Cannon and American flag on Southwest Walnut Street at the traffic light. Drivers are using what? Drivers using the traffic stop like it has a turning lane. I've seen people honking and some road rage going on there. It's not designated as a turning lane. Has anyone addressed this? It's a stressful place to obey the law, but let people pass through.
I think I know where they're talking about. It's down there at the end of the road where you can get on the 100. People will veer over off to that side and use that little extra area over there as a turning lane, which it is
Yes,
not designated
it is
that
not.
way. And it has been like that for a while, but you know what? With this new construction and after that area is opened up for a road, we're not going to have that problem anymore.
And actually, if you look at the plans with the overpass going in, Walnut Street is going to be right turn only there.
That's
So
right.
That'll solve that problem.
You better
We only got
believe it.
one way to go.
That's right. So
All right.
a lot of those things are going to change here real soon.
And we'll get a better report on
Oh, on
Tuesday.
Tuesday,
Hey,
exactly.
how about Miss Eric Anders? You want to give her a ring? Let's
Yeah,
see.
let's go
give
ahead
Miss
and
Eric
bring her
Anders a
on
ring.
in.
It's that time. While we're doing that, Renee Stigall Shaw says, has the Mars rover found any evidence of collusion? Only Renee, guys. You got to know her. You'll get a chance to meet her. I'm going to let that pass for a minute.
We'll talk about that on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah. That email was really important because guess who it was from?
Who?
It was from one of the old football coaches of the Jags.
All right, we'll talk about that in just a second.
Oh, we got her on. Okay.
We're getting ready to get her on. So, ladies and gentlemen, tune in. We're fixing to have Miss Eric Anders on.
Hello.
Hello, hi. Is this Eric Anders?
It is. How are you?
Hey, hi. This is David Rodgers, host of On the Spot with David Rodgers. I've got to my left my co-host, Mr. Byron Bagwell.
Hello.
To my right, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. We got my producer, Mr. Dave Holland, and our director, Michael Heater. I want to welcome you into the show, Erica. Thank you for joining us and taking time out of your busy schedule.
Of course. Thank y'all for having me.
First question I'd like to ask you before we get into some other questions is, how's the weather there in Oklahoma?
Well, I've been stuck in Houston for the past week because of the frozen tundra, but I'm about to head back to Oklahoma tomorrow. So it has been freezing. Today was the first day we saw sun and some warmer temperatures, but we were down in the single digits. One night it was below zero. We lost power. We didn't have water. It was awful.
All right. Well, again, thank you for joining us, Erica. It sounds like a lot of cold weather right there. Again, ladies and gentlemen, viewers tuning in, we've got Erica Enders on, and we're going to be asking her a series of questions. You got a chance to call in and ask as well. Our phone number is 904-458-7588. That's, again, 904-458-7588. Mitchell, I'm going to let you start the interview with Erica if you have a question for her.
Well, before we get started with the questions, I would like Miss Anders to go ahead and explain her background, how she got involved in drag racing, and all the way up to what it feels like to be a 4-time pro stock champion.
Well, my dad grew up racing sprint cars, and when he married my mom, she told him she wanted him to do something safer. So being the smart aleck that he is, he went drag racing. And so that's where my sister and I grew up, was at the drag strip. So just to kind of start from the beginning, we watched him race as little kids, and I always thought I was his crew chief. He let me ride his dial-in on the window with shoe polish, and, not a pro driver or anything, just family fun on the weekends. And it was awesome to grow up out there. We were working in the garage one evening, and I was flipping through the National Dragster, which is NHRA's publication, and I saw an article that said they were starting the Junior Drag Racing League where kids from 8 to 17 could race. So I grabbed the shop light, and I slid under the car with my dad, and I'm like, Dad, look, they're going to let kids race. Do you think I can do it? And he said, well, you're a good kid, and you make good grades. I don't see why not. And that was the kind of beginning of the end. And since then, NHRA has dropped the starting age to 5 years old, so kids are able to start at an even younger age now. But my sister and I both raced juniors from the time we were 8 to 17. And when I turned 16, I got my license in a Super Comp dragster at Frank Hawley's driving school, and drove Super Comp and Super Gas for 5 years. And then in 2004, we won the Houston National event in Super Gas. And I did an interview that Bob Fry and team owner Victor Cagnazzi heard, and Bob Fry put Victor and myself together, and he hired me that July, and I started my professional drag racing career in pro stock in 2005.
Wow. Hey, that's a lot. And your sister's name is Courtney, right?
Correct. Yes.
So, how competitive was you and your sister Courtney at the junior dragsters?
Well, we were always very competitive growing up, whether we were playing volleyball or basketball or doing gymnastics or whatever it was. So, it didn't really matter what we were competing at. We were cutthroat with each other. She's 3 years younger than me, so we were usually in different age brackets, but there were some events that we went to across the country where we raced against each other, and, I have to tell the truth, she busted my butt a couple times, more than a couple times. We had fun, and my mom always joked I didn't want to ride home in the truck when they had to race each other in the finals because they were going back and forth. But she's my biggest supporter. She works for our team and does all of our PR and social media and kind of manages the team and whatnot. So she's all hands on deck, and it could have easily went the other direction, but she's an amazing person, and I'm lucky to have her in my corner.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, we got the lovely Erica Enders on with us. The phone lines are wide open if you've got a question for Erica. Again, that number is 904-458-7588. Mitchell, do you have a question for Erica?
You mean Byron?
Byron.
Yeah, okay. Yes, I actually do. Okay. Erica, how would you suggest that young people get into drag racing? Because not everybody knows how to exactly go about doing that.
Well, the first thing is to just join the NHRA as a member, and then if you're talking young, like a child, obviously you have to get your parents on board. But it's not super expensive to go junior drag racing. You can buy a car and a motor for probably 10 grand, 15 grand. And, when we started, we would throw it in the back of the pickup truck and take a 5-gallon can of gas. I mean, it's progressed a lot since then. There's families out there with motorhomes and stackers for a junior dragster operation, but you don't have to have all that to be successful. And when we started, it was, like I said, in the back of a pickup, and then we got a flatbed trailer and kind of worked our way up from there, went to a tag, then a gooseneck. And, just joining the NHRA and getting your license is the first step as a junior driver.
Erica, can you tell me how many categories do you hold license in?
I was trying to figure that out earlier today. I came up with 11. So
my goodness.
From
Wow,
from pro stock to pro mod to stock, super stock, factory stock, super comp, super gas, top dragster, top sportsman, comp eliminator. Most every class they offer besides motorcycles and nitro classes, I have my license in, just in case I get the opportunity to drive something. And like I mentioned earlier, my sportsman career started in super comp and super gas, so I obviously still hold those licenses as well. But I've been actively driving pro modified and competition eliminator as of recently, in addition to pro stock.
Right, and you actually drove down there in Orlando just a couple of weeks ago, and I remember you taking a picture with a young gentleman that races out at Gainesville Raceway. Sometimes he kicks my butt. Alden Rollins. That won, I think it was Super Street, and that was his first race that he ever raced Super Street, and he had just lost his grandfather a couple of weeks before.
Yep, I remember that, and I thought his story was awesome. And then getting the chance to talk to his dad and hearing about, him having a terrible fire and coming back from that, and being able to see his son win his first race just a week or so after his father passed away was pretty substantial and really cool. So I was honored that they asked me to take a winner's circle picture with them.
Erica, Guy, this is David Rodgers again. Wanted to ask you a question. Growing up around drag racing, who were some of the racers that you looked up to, and maybe even still today?
Well, obviously, being a female, the biggest one was always Shirley Muldowney.
Oh, love her.
Since then, it's gone from being a fan of hers to her being a personal friend. She's been a huge support to me, and she always has my back and stands in my corner, and she's just an amazing woman. And to hear her stories and the things that she went through early on to become a 3-time world champion is just pretty tremendous, because the world still isn't, but it was definitely not a kind place at that point in time for women in a male-dominated sport. So she is definitely one of my heroes. I looked up to Shelly Anderson, who's now married to Jay Payne, so she's Shelly Payne, and on gel. So as far as females go, it was those gals. But I was always a huge Bob Glidden fan. I loved pro stock. Scott Jeffrey-on, Darrell Alderman. Tony Schumacher was really close to our family when my sister and I were growing up. So we were able to be there for his first Top Fuel win, and just all of us go way back. So there are a handful of big names that played a big role in where I am today, for sure.
It's funny that you say that, because Byron had a question for you, and you mentioned the name Bob Glidden. You want to ask Erica that question?
Did those helps with Bob help you become a better racer?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I was kind of like a fangirl at first, having the opportunity to work with him when I drove for the late Jim Cunningham in the Ford Mustang. And I was very nervous about working with him, because being an older gentleman from a different generation, I was afraid that he might be the stereotypical, chauvinist, like women don't belong here, but he could not have been further from that. From day one, he took me under his wing, and he definitely made me a better driver. He taught me things, going over the data, and Bob was really old school, and just watching him crunch the numbers and figure out what to run in the car, and watching him work on the carburetors while he's smoking a cigarette, and just typical Bob Glidden stuff. But he was he's such a character and such a blessing to my life. I want to kind of side note here, like whenever we won our first pro stock race in 2012 in Chicago, I was in the press room doing a series of interviews after our first win, and my phone rang, and of course I would always ignore it if I'm doing press, but I was like, oh my God, Bob Glidden's calling me. I am not sending him to voicemail. So he was the first person to call and congratulate me when I won my first race. And ever since we worked together, he and I would talk before and after every race. And if I did something stupid, he'd call me on Monday and be like, Erica, what in the crap are you doing? But he was always there to point out, hey, you need to get your crap together. But he was also there always to congratulate me when we did well. And I went through a kind of like a little whole shot driver slump in 2014, and he worked with me for hours and hours on end every Sunday night and Monday morning when the race was over, even to the extent where he would call my crew chiefs and help them with stuff. So he was in my corner, and I miss him dearly, but a great man and a legend of our sport.
Again, we've got Eric Enders on. The phone lines are now open again, 904-458-7588 if you have a question for Erica. If the line is busy, you can leave a message or send us a text, and we promise we will read you that message on the air. Again, Erica, I want to thank you for coming on from your busy schedule. I know you got a lot of things going on. You're trying to deal with the weather and everything else that goes along with this. We have just a couple of more questions for you. But before we get to those questions, I want to say that, we have a caller, Erica. So if you'll stand by, I'll finish those thoughts in just a minute.
Thanks for calling the On Spot with David Rodgers. Who's on the line?
Judith Young.
Judith Young. Erica, say hello to Judith, one of our viewers.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. I've been looking forward to you coming on all week long.
Well, awesome. I'm glad you called in.
Well, do you have, Judith, do you have a question for Erica?
Well, it's kind of a two-part question.
Okay.
So, being a female and being very involved in the car scene myself, I'm just kind of curious. I know you're a driver, but I was curious as to how involved with the building of your car that you were. Are you just one of those that just drives, or are you actually one of those that gets under the hood yourself?
Oh, I definitely work on the car. Every run we come back from, we get it backed in the pit. I get it jacked up with Chase, my clutch guy, and then I'm responsible for running the valves on the car and taking out the spark plugs, making sure that they're read and put back in properly. From stuff like running the valves to helping with transmission stuff to simple things like packing the parachutes. Like, once I'm done with my designated job on the car, I'm kind of a utility person and just jump in wherever the guys need me. But when we swing motors and stuff, it's all hands on deck, and I really enjoy working on my car. I handle all of the linkage adjustments and setup for my clutch. That all has to do with my reaction time. So I'm under the car for that, and going up in the crew chief lounge and going over data with the guys and coming out and delegating what needs to be changed, gear ratios and transmissions and whatnot. So I play a big part of it, but I really enjoy it. It's not. I don't want to just be a driver at all.
All right.
I understand the enjoying it aspect of it, and I have so much respect for you lady drivers, and I love seeing the numbers come up for more and more female drivers that are breaking into the racing industry. It gives a lot of hope for young girls. My second part of my question is kind of just for me. I'm just so curious. How much of an adrenaline rush is it pulling up to the starting line?
Great question.
It's definitely a huge adrenaline rush, and I don't care what it is that you're racing or driving. The adrenaline rush is the same for me. I do a lot of the kind of celebrity races where we bring in the big wigs from companies, and they end up driving like drag racing rental cars or Toyotas if they sponsor it. So like from a Camry to a pro stock car, like I feel like my heart beats the same and my mindset's always the same. So I always like to point that out because people are like, man, it's so crazy to go. You know, you're going 100 and some mile an hour faster than I am. Well, I don't care how fast you're going. It's a huge adrenaline rush. But the challenge to all of that is just staying calm and just keeping your mind right and staying focused and not allowing your heart rate or your breathing to get too crazy and just do the job that you have to do. So it's, but I do enjoy it. And when I'm not in the car, like if we lose early or something, I always go up and watch. And my favorite place to watch from is like 1,000 foot or the finish line because you forget how fast you're actually going. Like, and it's just really cool to see outside the car.
All right.
Well, I
Judith?
have so much respect for you.
All right,
Well,
Judith, thank you
You're
for
awesome.
coming
Good
on.
luck to you.
Thank you for coming on. And, hey, those were great questions. And keep tuning in. We have a couple of more questions for Erica. And you know we love you as a viewer of our show, Judith. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks, Judith.
No problem, guys.
Erica, before I get to the next question, your biggest fan is watching the show, my son Zane, and he just wanted me to tell you hello.
Hi.
He said he's ready for us to bring you more donuts.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say how my guys always love when y'all come because you bring donuts, and he's such an awesome dude, man. I'm excited I get to see y'all in a few weeks.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Before we get to the next question, Erica, I want to just, you just heard from Judith Young. Sally loves you. She was waiting to be able to talk to you. I was glad that you were able to answer her questions. We've got Raymond No joining us, Mary Salvatore, Kenneth William Vargas is watching. Crystal Beverly wanted me to tell you hello. And several others on here. We got a lot of people on here that is watching the show and that are big fans of you. So, again, thank you very much. For a couple of more questions, Mitch.
Sure. Erica, can you describe how hard it is to drive a pro stock car, not to take away anything from those who are driving the nitro categories? We all know that there's a lot of stuff that's going on inside the car, from burnout to shutdown. Can you kind of explain that to our viewers?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of stuff that goes on in the cockpit of a pro stock car, and I think that's why I love it so much, and I'm so intrigued by it because it's so challenging every single time you get in the car. So, it'd probably take me a couple of minutes to explain everything, but from the time that you fire the car, put it in first gear, you pull in the water box. I start my burnout in second gear, so I make sure that I'm in second gear. I set my line lock, which is a button that holds pressure in the front brakes. I put about 1,200 pounds of pressure in that, and I'll whack the throttle a couple times and drop the clutch around 6,000 RPM, and I'll shift from second to third, third to fourth, and fourth to fifth. Once I have the RPMs under control, I'll let off the line lock button and roll out, like just kind of burn out across the starting line. Once I clear the Christmas tree, then I'll shove the clutch in and let the transmission fall to neutral. I'll check my gauges after that, and I push the clutch in and pull the reverse lever, and I start to back up. My crew chiefs will talk to me in my helmet and tell me, left, right, and where I need to go and when I need to stop. And once I stop from backing up, I flip my shock switch on, which turns my tack off that reads my RPM for the burnout and turns my shocks on for the run. And then I'll put the car in first gear and pull forward to Richard, who gets me close to the pre-stage beams. Again, my crew chiefs are directing me, right or left because you want to be as straight as possible. Once I get to the pre-stage beam, I let the car fall in neutral. My crew chief sets the wheelie bars. One of my guys comes in the passenger door and he turns the CO2 bottle on, which controls our shocks and our parachute. And I'll give a quick check to him and then check my switches again a few more times just to make sure everything's right. And then once Richard shuts my door, I'll put the car in first gear and turn the pre-stage bulb on. Obviously, you do that by easing out on the clutch pedal, and you can just roll into pre-stage at an idle. once I'm pre-staged, I set the line lock again, which is the front brake pressure. I'll set that about 250 pounds, and I'll move my foot back to the throttle, and I'll ease out on the clutch while bringing up the engine RPM to probably like 3,000, 2,500, and just ease out on the clutch and stage. Once the stage bulb comes on, I go all the way in on the clutch and all the way in on the gas. When the ambers flash, I let the clutch out and the line lock button, which is on my left thumb, I let those out simultaneously, and then I get my eyes from the Christmas tree to down track, like on the horizon, because your car goes where your eyes go, so you want to make sure that you're going straight. And less than a second into the run, the 1-2 gear change comes, about 0.7 of a second into the run, and I'll shift second, third, fourth, fifth. We're in high gear by half track, and once I'm in high gear, I move my hand from the shifter because it stays in high gear. It's the only gear it stays in. I'll move my hand from the shifter over to the parachute button, and at the mile per hour cone, which is 66 feet shy of the finish line, I'll dump my parachutes so that they hit right at the finish line and you don't waste any travel trying to slow down and deploying your parachutes after the run is over. And then I shove the clutch in at the finish line, and at that point my chutes hit, and then once the car is settled, then I begin applying brake pressure, because you don't want to get on your brakes while your car is bouncing around, because they're carbon fiber, and the more heat they build, the easier they lock up, so you have to be really cautious about that. And once the chutes are out and I'm slowing down, I kill the engine and the fuel and all of that and coast off the racetrack.
Wow.
How many seconds will that be?
So I think it takes me like 10 million times as long to explain everything that happens when I actually have to do it. But I like to go through it because there's so much going on inside the cockpit, and all your hands and all your feet are busy, and you're obviously trying to focus and be the best that you can on top of executing all of those procedures properly. So it's a very challenging car to drive. I've obviously driven a lot of stuff, including an alcohol funny car, and it is by far the most challenging race car I have ever driven, but that's what I love so much about it, that a lot of the weight is on the driver's shoulders.
I know Richard talks to you a lot in your helmet and stuff. What does he say to you as you start to pull in there and stage your car? What does he tell you to do?
Well, before
you can say
he
it.
shuts the door, he usually tells me don't screw this up. And so, it kind of takes the pressure off, and you laugh a little bit. And anybody that knows Richard knows he has a little bit of a potty mouth. So that was the G-rated version. And then my crew chief, Rick Jones, will get on the radio, and right before I pre-stage, he'll say, "Get up on that wheel and kick his ass," and that started in Vegas. I was sick one weekend, and he was trying to help me get amped up, but he tells me that before every round of eliminations, and I love it. It's awesome.
One of our top fans, Erica, that comes on our show all the time, her name is Renee Stegall Shaw. She lives in Pascagoula, Mississippi. She says, how much of your performance is attributed to natural ability, and how much is learned through trial and error?
Man, I mean, I always say that you can either drive or you can't, but the more you do it, the better you get, right? Seat time is crucial, and I will say that till the day that I die. Like at Elite Motorsports, I go do all the testing for all of the other drivers, because like with Jake Coughlin and Alex and Aaron Stanfield and all these people, they have other jobs that they have to do, and so I'm able to drive all of the cars, which I volunteer for, because I feel like the more I drive, the better I'm going to get. So I'm not really sure if that answers the question. I think that you have to definitely have that feel in the seat of your pants. You have to be able to drive and acclimate to any situation, but a lot of it is learned, and just doing it more and more makes you better. And then being in those crazy high pressure situations where everything you can imagine goes wrong, like you succumb to that pressure. As a young driver, I did, and just staying after it and going through those circumstances made me better, because when things like that happen now as a seasoned veteran, I I don't fall short. I rise to the occasion, but that's only because I have the experience, not because I'm just able to drive. That's the kind of things that come with seat time.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, we have Erica Enders on. She's a four-time Pro Stock champion driver. Vincent Tucker says, Erica, sounds like an airplane pilot getting ready for takeoff. Green, turn, and burn.
Exactly. I definitely have a checklist like pilots do, and you learn that too. That's something that you acquire because you've screwed up in the past. So, I've had switches in the wrong position or not done something in the proper order, and it has cost us. So just having gone through those experiences, you learn to double, triple, quadruple check. And, there'll be some in-car footage that you watch, and I reach up like 3 or 4 or 10 times. And because once you forgot something once, you're not going to do it again. Or I'm not anyway. I'm going to make sure that it's checked and double checked. So definitely a lot like a pilot.
Dave, do you have a question for Erica?
I'd just like to add to that comment that it's more like a pilot taking off of an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Byron?
What are your expectations for the Gator Nationals and the rest of the season?
Well, I definitely have high hopes coming off of our 4th championship last year. This season is about to start. We're going to be about a month late because of stupid COVID, but we will start the week before the Gators in Orlando at the World Door Slammer Nationals, which is a race that my team owner and Wes Buck are putting on for the 2nd year in a row, and it's $75,000 to win in Pro Stock and $50,000 to win in Pro Mod. And this year we're including a lot of other door car classes, including Comp Eliminator and Top Sportsman, and then a Stock and Super Stock Challenge. So that'll be really fun and a good warm-up for the Gator Nationals. But to answer your question, I'm really optimistic. I mean, I feel like our program is at the top of its game. I'm fortunate enough to work with the best guys in the business, and this year we'll have Troy Coughlin Jr. He's going to be driving Jeg's car. I'll still have Alex Laughlin on board and Aaron Stanfield, and then Bruno Massel and Bob Benza will kind of alternate in and out throughout the year at random races. But it's going to be a great year. I really feel that. And my dad and I were just talking today, actually, and talking about the tracks that I have never won at on tour, and Gainesville is one of them. So it is for sure on my bucket list before I retire to be able to win the Gator Nationals in Pro Stock.
Well, I know I got a little boy. He prays every time for you to win. And it was so funny. 2 years ago, Erica, you was running, let's see who you was running. I can't think of his name. Anyway, you was running, and you lost. And Zane looks over at me, and he says, "My woman lost. I am ready to go home." That is what he said. So
he did. I remember you telling us that story.
He is a character, and I tell you what, I've got 3 kids, and out of all 3 of them, he's the only one that loves the sport, where he will actually sit down and watch it on TV, and he absolutely loves it. It was hilarious. I says, "No, we can't go home. She's got other teammates that are still in. We're going to see if they can win."
Erica,
he's awesome, man.
I've got another question for you. Well, a real quick one for our male viewers. Are you married?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Yes. You just, hey, our male viewership, Erica, just went through the roof.
Yeah, I doubt that. Thank you. I'm flattered.
Erica, have you ever had a bad incident that was like, that was a bad one, but you made it through it? In other words, I guess a bad wreck or a bad incident that you went, ooh, thank goodness.
Yes, I've had a couple of them. When I was first learning to drive Pro Stock in 2004, I crashed in Bradenton. Just total inexperience and combined with a poor track surface. But probably the craziest one was in Norwalk 2 years ago now. It's almost been 2 years. We had a really bad fire, and that was probably the craziest, most dangerous, scariest experience of my career for sure. We just set the new world record for speed in our twin turbo car. We went 261 miles an hour, and right at the finish line, as I shut the car off, it kicked the rods out, and we were having a rod bolt failure issue. And when it kicked the rods out, it took out the main oil line, and as I shut the engine off or whatever and was trying to slow down, I knew that we had blown it up because I felt it, I heard it, and then, probably 100, 200 feet past the finish line, I started to see the fire and whatnot. But as it took the main oil line off, the vibration in the motor, it broke the fuel rails off, and we run 4 injectors per cylinder, and it's a mechanical fuel pump. So even though my ignition is off, because the motor is still turning, it's still pumping fuel full blast. So it was just shooting alcohol and oil everywhere, and that's what caused the fire to be so bad. And at that point, we didn't have a manual fuel shutoff, and I didn't run a fresh air system on my car either. So I had to slow down from 261 miles an hour and get out of the car without being able to see or breathe and having fire everywhere. It was not great at all. And it was a season-ending fire for our team because it just destroyed our race car. It was like $150,000 worth of damage. So we spent the rest of the year getting that repaired, and now there have been some rule changes since then that I was a part of getting changed. And I think that's the one good thing that came from it, is that we made the class safer for other drivers that were silly to drive something like that, like myself, because I just wanted to race. I mean, if you have a mechanical fuel pump, you should absolutely have a manual fuel shutoff. Like, how can I be so dumb to not think of that? But you don't. I drive the finest equipment on the racetrack, but we just a couple little things that needed to be changed. And NHRA and Rick Jones, my crew chief and chassis builder, he was on board with getting them changed, and they were really receptive to it. And I feel good about it because we're being more proactive now instead of reactive. And it was definitely a crazy experience, and I learned very quickly that I do not like fire.
And that's what's so good about our sport, Erica. I mean, I run sportsman class at Gainesville and ET bracket racing, but our sport is so good. NHRA, they take all those bad experiences to make everything safer, all the way down to ET bracket racing, all the way up to the nitro classes. And my hat goes off to those men and women who listen to drivers and to make our sport safe.
Yeah.
For sure. I think that's a great point. And all of the rule changes that have happened are a result of someone having a bad experience, or unfortunately someone being hurt or killed. So we just gradually make the sport safer and safer with every race, and that's something that's awesome about it.
Byron, do you have a question for Erica?
One of our fans, Renee Steele-Shaw, wanted to ask, how old is too old to start racing? Sounds like I missed my calling.
I don't think age, just like gender plays no role. I don't feel like age does either, to a certain extent. I mean, you can look at Chris Karamazini, and he's an elderly gentleman, and he still races. Mm-hmm. And as far as pro stock goes, I mean, we had some. I think D Gaines was 67 when he retired, and Warren Johnson was a little bit older. And so I guess as you get older, maybe your reaction times start getting a little worse. But as far as the fundamentals of driving a car go, I don't think it's ever too late. Just like it's not too late to go back to school and learn a new trade or get a new degree. I mean, age is just a number.
That's a great answer, Erica. We got one more question for you. I know you got a busy schedule. I want to first thank you for joining us here on the spot with David Rodgers. You have been a great guest. We have heard a lot of great things about you, how personable you are and how knowledgeable you are. And this interview right here has just proved everything that everybody said about you. And again, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart and from our crew as well for taking just a little bit of time out of your day to come join us.
Well, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. So anytime y'all need to fill a space, you just holler.
All right. Well, I tell you what, if we get those media credentials, we will be down there at the Door Slammer Nationals and taking feedback from drivers. And hopefully we can talk to you again down there and a couple of your teammates as well. And
of course,
we would definitely have a great time.
Oh, absolutely.
Down there.
Absolutely. So,
actually, I was going to read about that.
Was you?
And
Okay.
She actually already
did.
Talking about the Door
Yeah.
Slammer Nationals. So if we have viewers that are watching and you want to get an idea of what Pro Stock and Pro Mod racing is like, you can take a little trip down to Orlando on March the 5th through the 7th, and you will see some really great racing down there, and you will not be disappointed.
Hey, Erica, before you go, I would like to give you this opportunity because you have been such a great guest. Would you like to plug your website or a Facebook page or any kind of media page that people can follow you on?
Sure. On Facebook, our page is Erica Enders Racing, and the same goes for Instagram, Erica Enders Racing as well. I would give you my Twitter, but somebody hacked it, and I cannot get back in control of it. But as far as social media, that's it. Our team's page is EliteMotorsportsLLC.com, and everything else is on EricaEndersRacing.com. But my sister does a great job of updating our social platforms, and you could probably find the most fun and interesting information and pictures and videos on Facebook and Instagram, which are, again, Erica Enders Racing.
Everybody that's on the show tonight, Erica, is wishing you well, especially all the females that are on the show. They are loving you. You ought to just see the hearts and everything going out. I am sure that they will be pulling for you. And again, Erica, thank you so very much for coming on the show and taking just a little bit of time with our viewers here on The Spot with David Rodgers. And good luck this season, and we will be keeping an eye on you for sure.
That sounds awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me.
All right, ladies and
Thank you, Erica.
Erica.
Good night. Thank you, Erica.
That was, ladies and gentlemen, Erica Enders, four-time Pro Stock champion. Byron, what a great young lady. What a great interview. Let me tell you what. Sharp, smart, beautiful. I mean, what can you ask for?
How much more?
No. I see Michael here clapping his hands back there when she's single.
Yeah.
But anyway, Mitchell, what a great interview, huh? That lady is like outstanding.
She is great with fans. I mean, she will stand out there and talk with fans, and what I like about it, she takes the time with the young kids, talks to them about drag racing and how they can get involved with junior dragsters. Right. And the good thing is, if you do have children and they want to get involved in junior dragsters, and you're at the Gator Nationals, usually behind the stands on the pit area, they will have several cars out there. Some of the parents will allow the kids to sit in them, see if they like it.
Yeah.
And I tell you, it's a great sport. I love it for sure. And you know that.
I know that. I like it too. I really do. Byron likes it. I just, man, that's a sound, man. It's a charge in
right.
you.
And like we had the one viewer, Renee. Hey, if you ever want to come out and race, you can always go over to Gainesville Raceway. They have test and tune nights. They have your regular bracket racing going on. Hey, bring your car out. As long as it's faster than 19.99 seconds, you can run in the sportsman category all the way up to 1150. And then we have our pro and our super pro classes as well. And hey, you pay $35, you get a tech card, you go tech your car in. You're ready to go race.
Just go into a couple of comments before we close the show. Vincent Turker says, the reason I asked the question is this show, not only is it thrilling, Mitchell, but there are also unforeseen dangers as well.
Definitely. And I remember, going out there racing myself, and my wife went out there. We was not married at the time. And I told her right then and there, hey, anything can happen at any given time.
Sure.
Just because the car only runs, I think at that time it was running about 12 flat. Anything can happen, so don't get upset when you see it. It is a closed environment, and we do have EMTs on site,
Nicole said, thank you for the shout. We want to thank you, Nicole and Zane, for tuning in. We love you guys. Dwight Allen said that was a great interview. Melissa Manning was watching. Vincent Tucker says, I just saw the video of Erica's car after the Norwalk fire.
Yes.
Yikes.
Yes, it did get a little hot.
Yes, it did. Judith says she's seen it also. Definitely a scary moment. Crystal Beverly tuning in from Georgia.
Oh, definitely.
Loves NHRA and loves Erica as well. My co-host, Big Kevin Al. Hey, color commentator Kevin Al. There he is. How you doing, Kev? Let's see here. Everybody just thanking her for what they did. I want to thank you, Mitchell, for getting things set up with Erica and the crew. Great job by Michael Heater and Dave Holland to get all the information up and the graphics up of Erica. Byron Bagwell, great job on the interview part. It was just a great night overall, and I tell you, what a beautiful young lady and a smart young lady. And I see some bigger and better things for this lady.
Oh, I'll tell you what, she's going after her 5th championship, and I tell you what, the guys are scared.
Oh, yeah. They should be.
And I tell you, she is one of the best levers in pro stock. So she will put a good light on you. I mean, I've seen her go triple zips in 012s, and that's what you have to do. That class is so competitive and so close.
Yes.
When you look at the qualifying numbers from the first place car to the 16th car for the field,
not much.
I mean, the margin is very, very
tenths
small.
of seconds.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. So, again, guys, a really great show tonight. Did you want to say something before I close?
Yeah, I did.
I got final thoughts. You want to do it final thoughts or you want to do it now?
Real quick.
Okay,
final
sure.
thoughts. That email that I went and checked
Yes.
was actually an old coach for the Jaguars sent us an email.
Really?
Mr. Tom Coughlin said he wanted in on that little pool we had going.
Is that right?
He's saying 6 games.
He says 6 games.
Yes.
All right, Tom, you're in.
And he says, don't call me.
A really great show tonight, gentlemen. Thanks for a great program. Stay tuned, folks, because here comes Final Thoughts.
Tonight's Final Thoughts with David Rodgers, brought to you by Fun Point Food and Arcade, 1100 South Walnut Street in beautiful Stark, Florida. Fun Point is an all-in-one arcade and restaurant that is bound to raise your spirits, are sure to please your taste buds, and the games will keep you entertained for hours. Fun Point Food and Arcade, 1100 South Walnut Street in Stark. Feel free to give them a call at 904-966-3380. Make a point to visit Fun Point.
Guys, thank you again for tuning in to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I want to thank my co-host Byron Bagwell and Mr. Mitchell Gunner, along with my producer Dave Holland, and of course our director and weather guru Michael Heater. Before I get in, Michael, real quick weather update for just tomorrow. Give us a little wrap. Give us a little something.
Hey,
we expect.
I like to prove Byron wrong.
Oh,
hey, Byron, guess what it's not going to do?
Please tell me.
It's not going to rain.
It's not going to rain, folks. Beautiful sunny conditions. A little bit of clouds building through the afternoon. Temperatures are going to be seasonal. Beautiful day. Truly makes it a Sunday.
All right. We appreciate that, Michael. Thank you for everything that you do. Again, want to thank everybody for joining in. Our great guests, everybody that chimed in with Erica Enders tonight. What a great interview, Mitchell.
Right,
it was. Great knowledge. A great person to have. What you just told me, I can see it. Not only is she very smart, very beautiful, and knows her car, but she's very personable with everybody as well, all the fans.
And I just want to say, if you came in late, listening to the interview and watching us, please go back and watch it from the beginning.
Tell them how you can get there. You got Facebook and
YouTube.
Yes.
Well, we should have that downloaded by tomorrow, correct?
Oh, absolutely. So, guys, thank you for all the wonderful comments. Everybody says, what a great interview. This was a great show, one of the best shows they've seen. I tell you, it was really, really a great show. As we wrap up tonight, guys, I do want to pause and honor a true broadcast legend, and that is Mr. Rush Limbaugh. Guys, I do radio broadcasts, and I'm going to get into this a little bit more Tuesday. I took a lot of what I do from him, from Rush, and how he did, and how he loved sports, how he loved this country. And Limbaugh lived in Palm Beach, Florida from 1996 until his death in 2021. A friend recalls that Limbaugh fell in love with Palm Beach, and he did. After visiting her over Memorial Day weekend in 1995, unlike New York, Byron, Florida does not tax income. That stated reason Limbaugh moved his residence and established his Southern Command. And I love that. On February 28, 2009, Rush received CPAC's Defender of the Constitution Award. And let me tell you, what a great man to receive this honor. That's a document originally signed by Benjamin Franklin, given to someone who has stood up for the First Amendment. Rush was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom February 4th, 2020 by then President Trump. And I tell you, Byron, you're going to get into a lot more of this on Tuesday. Your whole segment. I see you tearing up. I'm tearing up a bit. I see Mitchell as well. My guys back here. This guy was the true epitome of what America stood for.
Absolutely.
Man, he will definitely be missed. So, again, guys, thank you for joining us. Thank you for all you viewers that tune in. Thank you for everything that you do for us. If you have anything you want to talk about, again, there's all kinds of ways to get a hold of us. The easiest way, Mitchell, is on the spot 32091 at gmail.com. We will make sure we answer those. We're looking for a great show on Tuesday. Mitchell's going to have plenty of local information and local things to get after. Mr. Byron Bagwell, we talked. We're going to make his segment about Rush and some of the things that Rush has done and has accomplished through his lifetime and how he's touched many other people and in many other lives as well.
And we got Josh Hart.
Yes, we do. At the beginning of the show, I want to thank Mr. Dave Holland, our producer, Mr. Michael Heater with our director, and the weather. Again, God bless you guys. Have a great and safe night, and we'll see you on Tuesday night. God bless you guys.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.